But I just want to make sure that, first of all, you know that this link is in your Google Doc to use as a communication piece. People want to know what's in the waiver. The waiver is like 680 pages long, but these bullet points are what it means to us, okay? And we have to, as a state, implement the Common Core. We have to, and we've already adopted them. A state that adopts the Common Core can adopt them wholesale and leave them the way they are, or they can add 15% more of their own standards in there, and Wisconsin's not doing it. Wisconsin's just taking the Common Core as they are. We are going to be with the WKCE for 2 more years, and then we go to the new system, like Chad said before. Testing, and starting 14-15 will be in the spring, and in grade 11 instead of grade 10. Online, as Karen was talking about, there's benchmarks and a summative at the end of the year. There's piloting that'll be going on next year. And the cut scores that you hear about that are more rigorous now are like NAEP, which is the nation's report card, they call it. It's given every other year, and it's reported only at the state level, not individual schools level. And there's a handout that Jamie's got linked in here too that shows the difference between state level proficient plus advanced and NAEP proficient plus advanced. And in reading, for example, it's like 83% with our current system, and under NAEP it's in the 30s. So it will be different. There's a budget request to pay for Explore Plan and ACT at the middle and high school level. And we talked about these things that will be in our report card, and there's a sample report card in there as a link if you want to look at it. And then there's other things that we're held responsible for. Test participation, which has always been there. We never had a problem with that. Absenteeism is new, and the dropout rate is new. And we have to keep our numbers under those. That shouldn't be a problem in Franklin whatsoever. Here are the categories that will be ranked on in addition to a 100-point scale score, or 100-point like a grade. Significantly exceeding expectations or persistently failing to meet them, and everything in between. Is
that going to be based off the advanced and proficient? Or how, like, is it, because comparatively right now Franklin does very well, so would we be exceeding expectations, or is it nationwide, so we would be kind of the NAEP scores in terms of this rating, do you know?
There's no straight answer to that, because we're not just looking at proficient plus advanced. We're looking at all these factors.
Oh, okay.
So, and there's calculations,
so we don't know the calculation,
there's statistical calculations that are, mind-boggling behind the scenes, and so, we don't know how it's going to come out. I would imagine that we'd be at least meeting expectations. And then each district is going to have different expectations. And even within districts, there may be different expectations. For example, you saw the high numbers of low income at Countrydale. They may have a different expectation than some of the other schools. So the cell size is changing. That's just a detail. It just makes it harder for us to escape responsibility. And then the last thing I'll say is that about educator effectiveness. There's principal evaluation and teacher evaluation systems are being developed at the state level, and those you're going to be hearing more about those. And in general, 50% of my evaluation as a teacher is going to be based on I'm thinking Madeline Hunter. What's the name?
Charlotte Danielson.
Charlotte Danielson, and our teaching practices. And 50% will be based on student performance of the kids in my class. Okay, so, and there's all kinds of details that aren't worked out yet with that. And that's it. So, this last thing on here is just how they're reported out. So, what does the waiver mean to us? Here's a summary that you can use to answer your question. Okay. Thanks.